Okay. Hopefully we won't have any problems now. I hate it when the computer kicks out. I really do. I hate that. I hate it. We had been talking about haunted places. The next one is a medical museum. That'll be interesting. Let me see here. I'm going to look up haunted bridges and famous paranormal legends. I love stuff like that. I'm not wanting urban legends. I don't want urban legends. Don't want urban legends. Well, folk legends, yes. And let's see here. Must be what am I looking for? Yep. Witches, vampires, werewolves, zombies, mummies, American ghost stories, the devil, creepy clowns. Okay, well, read through those. That'll be interesting. Ads, 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 always ads. There you go. Okay. Oh, no, I didn't see where it actually said bye for good. Oh, well, I'll get done what I can while you're here. So I looked up um, more information, and this is actually about folk legends. So we have it's 8 of Halloween's most hair-raising folk legends. So the first one is about Halloween. Halloween's origins date back to the ancient Celtic, it's actually pronounced Celtic, festival of Samhain, when it was believed the boundary between the worlds of the living and the dead became blurred. It has since evolved into a holiday when spooky legends, myths, and folklore take center stage. Through costumes, stories, and celebrations during the Halloween season, mythical beings from witches to zombies to werewolves all come to life, and each of the season's creepy beings carries its own dark history. Yeah, that would make a lot of sense. Friday is always a good time to get some things done. Riches. Images of riches have appeared in various forms throughout history, from evil, wart-nosed women huddling over a cauldron of boiling liquid to hag-faced, cackling beings riding through the sky on brooms wearing pointy hats. But the real history of riches is dark and dates back to as far as about 900 BC. Cool. Didn't know that they went clear back to 900 BC. Thought they all started in Salem. Has just updated today. Interesting. Witches were perceived as evil beings by early Christians in Europe, inspiring the iconic Halloween figure. Images of witches have appeared in various forms throughout history, from evil, wart-nosed women huddling over a cauldron of boiling liquid to hag-faced, cackling beings riding through the sky on brooms wearing pointy hats. In pop culture, the witch has been portrayed as a benevolent, nose-twitching suburban housewife, an awkward teenager learning to control her powers, and a trio of charmed sisters battling the forces of evil. The real history of witches, however, is dark and often, for the witches, deadly. Yep. The origin of witches. Yep. It was horrible. Very horrible. Early witches were people who practiced witchcraft, using magic spells and calling upon spirits for help or to bring about change. Most witches were thought to be pagans doing the devil's work. Many, however, were simply natural healers or so called wise women whose choice of profession was misunderstood. It's unclear exactly when witches came on the historical scene, but one of the earliest records of a witch is in the Bible in the book of First Samuel, thought to be written between 931 BC and 721 BC. It tells the story of when King Saul sought the witch of Endor to summon the dead prophet Samuel's spirit to help him defeat the Philistine army. Yeah, well, they was always seeking stuff like that. The witch roused Samuel, who then prophesied the death of Saul and his sons. The next day, according to the Bible, Saul's sons died in battle and Saul committed suicide. Other Old Testament verses condemn riches, such as the oft-cited Exodus 22:18, which says, "Thou shalt not suffer a rich to live." Additional biblical passages caution against divination, chanting, or using riches to contact the dead. Malleus Maleficarum, if I'm pronouncing that right. Rich hysteria really took hold in Europe during the mid 1400s when many accused riches confessed. When many accused riches confessed, often under torture to a variety of wicked behaviors. Within a century, witches' hunts were common, and most of the accused were executed by burning at the stake or hanging. Single women, widows, and other women on the margins of society were especially targeted. Between the years 1500 and 1666, up to 80,000 suspected witches were put to death in Europe. Around 80% of them were women thought to be in cahoots with the devil and filled with lust. Germany had the highest witchcraft execution rate, while Ireland had the lowest. Yeah, I see that. I see that there's other people on here. Can any of you hear me? Okay, let's test the waters a little bit. Put our toes out, see if the water feels good. Thank God for 4G. How's that? Well, good, good. I was thinking I was going to have to go third time a charm. Yeah. Shows that a little bit more is at least looking into the chat, so it's good to see that I'm not buffering. I know it didn't show up that there was a poor connection, so sometimes they'll read up at the top that the connection is unstable, that they're reconnecting. Running on DSL, it's always dicey anyway. And Terry messaged me saying that her mom called. Older version of Wi-Fi. It's a slower. It's faster than dial-up, but slower than the higher speed Wi-Fi. Man, if I just had dial-up, there's no way that we'd be doing a chat. No way. And I'm grateful for the DSL. It's definitely a much older version, that's for sure. I think it came out right after dial-up when they was trying to get faster speeds. Yep, I do. I pay a bill. But at least we're able to use our Fire Stick in this laptop. Can't run this laptop without something, so it's a blessing. They did put fiber optic into the place, so in time when the finances definitely look clear enough, we're wanting to get the fiber optic Wi-Fi. I've got 3. It's possible that Terry is just listening while she's on the phone with her mom. She said that her mom called, so I don't know if she's actually watching or what. And who knows who else. Silent viewers. The Wi-Fi. Oh yeah. Yeah, the DSL isn't powerful enough to hold any other device. But the Fire Stick in this laptop carries a lot of power. So, yeah, we've got the Amazon Fire Stick that hooks up to the TV. I know it's not much, but I tell you what. And then we go through T-Mobile for our device services, and that works pretty good. They've got it pretty good. Yeah, I started out with Time Warner, and we kept Time Warner when it switched over to Spectrum. Spectrum screwed us over though, so we left it, and it was so very unreliable. Hi, Dave. Oh, that's okay. I don't think we're going to have any more trouble. I really don't. I think we're okay now. I seriously do. I think we're okay now. But yeah, when we went to move from one apartment to the other, hubby very distinctly told them to transfer our service to such and such address. And so after living here for a month, we no longer had service. And so he called them up and they said that he had asked for them to turn it off. And he said, no, I never. I wanted it transferred. And so they went through all this thing of having to reorder it and everything and blah, blah, blah. So I checked with AT&T to see if they had service here, and they did, but it was only DSL. And I said, we want it. So we returned the equipment to Spectrum, and we never looked back. You too, Julian. Yeah, I think Dylan's safe too. Hi, Mom. Yay! Power! Awesome. I'm glad to know that you got it back on. Did you lose any food or did it pretty well stay? Dave, Linda Stepp is my mom, and she was hit by Dorian. But the good news is Dorian had finally dwindled down to a 1, so they just had the high winds. Anyway, they didn't have any power for a little while. Well, yeah, me too. But that's God. I just feel bad for the Bahamas because they was hit with the hardest part of Dorian. I really hate that for the Bahamas. Well, I hate that you have to replace a lot of your food, but at least you got your power back on. That's great. Did you let hubby know that the power's back on, Mom? I don't know if Mom's still there or not. We'll give her a little time there. If I know correctly, she had told hubby. Yeah, she lives east. I live a little more toward central rest. Okay. How long was the power out, Mom? 29 hours too long. That's for sure. I got new glasses here, Mom. Look here. They came in today And I love them because, like, if you can notice, the front edge is like a maroon purple or a maroon brown, and then the back has got teal blue behind it. But what's really cool about these is where hubby has got the insurance for the glasses. What normally just for a cheap pair of frames and my prescription runs over $200, I got $24 frames, transition lenses with UV protection, no line bifocals, and glare resistance just for 163, along with my expensive prescription. I love hubby's vision insurance. I love it. And with the glare resistance, it makes it so much easier to see. Plus, I was able to finally take Bouncy out, and the sun didn't hurt my eyes because of the transitions. I love them. I like not having any lines on my bifocals too. I don't have a line interfering. It's good. I know with all this and how much it costed with that, this is what I'm going to start ordering every year. I'm going to get them just like this. Yeah, he's a great man. I love him. But he definitely agreed it'd be worth holding on to his position at work just for us to have that extra insurance for the vision and the dental and all that. I know when I had checked into the transitions back in 2014, and that was without the glare and UV and all that, and it would have been over $300. So for me to get the entire enchilada along with my expensive prescription for just 163, that is incredible. My eyes have never felt so comfortable, seriously. And I didn't know that it was such a strain for me to be able to see with my glasses glaring and no UV protection and all that. I know that it's a strain, like if you're out in the sunshine and stuff, but I never realized just how strained my eyes were until I got that glare resistance. And it makes such a big difference. Yeah, I think, I don't remember, I think when the guy pulled up the record for the Davis Vision, either he said that it would like cover 15%, 20%, or it was $50 allowance or 150 allowance. Might have been $150 allowance. Something like that. In other words, it really allowed a whole lot. So, and the good thing is, um, it definitely covers for once a year, which is all I ever need my eyes to be took care of. So it's well worth it. Definitely well worth it. Yeah, hubby does. He pays good money for that, but it is so worth it. It does. It really does. I'd been running all week for these to be ready. I ran in Saturday and got the script put in, and had been waiting all week. And every day that I would take Bouncy out and wait for her to do all of her business, and I would be straining my eyes to watch where she was at, see if she was finished and everything, and the pain having to just keep my eyes from being glared. And with the transitions and the glare resistance today, it's it was really good. It was so comfortable to be able to watch Bouncy. I was able to keep my eyes on her and there was no discomfort. These transitions are awesome. And I don't have to worry about putting clip-ons or heavy overlaying sunglasses, which raise the real glasses down. We've got cover overs. They're complete sunglasses that just completely goes on top of the glasses. And like they're so heavy that they cause our glasses to fall down on our nose. And those things are irritating. So now I don't have to worry about that. I like the thought of having sunglasses when needed. I don't know if Dave was just listening or if he left. It's always a wonder about some people. Some people don't say bye. I think Dave actually does say bye, though. I don't know. If I remember correctly, Dave lives in the UK. You live in the UK, right, Dave? There's a whole lot of Englanders that comes in. Whole lot. I love you too, Mom. Anyway, it shows that we've got some people watching, but nobody has spoken up. I wonder, there's my blue buddy. Well, you grate that cheese and enjoy listening. After midnight, it's getting late for you. Boy, I wish my Aussie friend would come back in. He said he finally got himself a good job and he works hard at it. So that's the reason why my David Bracken hasn't been back in. Oh, I miss my Aussie buddy. I'm going to have to stand up here for a moment. I don't know why, but my legs are kind of pulling on me there. Might have to take me some potassium. Sorry, guys. Having to stretch my legs, they're pulling on me. Oh. Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to take some potassium. Ow. Man, I hate it when my legs pull like that. Man, that's painful. That is painful. Ow, 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 ow. Mm. Trying to walk the pull out of my legs. But yeah, so my Aussie friend hasn't been in because he got himself a good job that he's been working hard at. So now I'm always grateful when somebody's got a job. That's always good news. I understand it's not very easy to get a job in Australia. Are you grating cheese because you're going to have spaghetti done? Oh, man, I wish my legs would just stop. Stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it, your legs. Man, that hurts. Oh, wow, chili. Oh, man. You know what? I'm going to write down a list for some chili. I make some awesome homemade chili. That would taste good. And chili is satisfying. You never need to eat anything else after a bowl of chili. Hey, that's okay, Terry. Anytime. I mean, as I've said before, mom takes precedent in a person's private life. I'm a nobody, and that's how I want it to be. I don't ever want to be more important. Yeah, are you going to be streaming at all tomorrow, Dylan, that you know of? I'm having to stand, Terry. My both back of my thighs ended up pulling on me. I had to stand up to get them to unpull when I have to take some potassium. Hate it when the legs pull like that. It's painful. Yeah, I hear you, Catherine. Yeah, mommy hears you. And now they're starting to actually ease. I'm going to try to sit down and hopefully they won't pull again. I haven't had them pull on me for a while. And that's so painful. I did find out that because I was having big plates of dark greens of the spring mix, and yeah, I think for now that might be a good idea, Terry. For now, at least till we see what else is going to be happening in the next few weeks. I definitely understand you there. But anyway, I had been having very large plates of the spring mix, and every night I would wake up with my leg pulling on me, and I'd have to walk it out. And I thought, what in the world is going on with my legs? I know I was drinking plenty of water and stuff, and I couldn't figure it out. And then uh, when I had to go on the liquid fast for the colon procedure, my legs didn't pull anymore. That's when I realized it was the spring mix. Apparently, I was overdosing on vitamin K or something. But I also had found out that when I would take potassium along with the salad, my muscles wouldn't pull. So, but I didn't have any salad today. Haven't had salad for a couple nights. We ran out. I'm definitely going to have to take some potassium. Hmm. Ain't nothing wrong with that. And what's your reasoning behind not doing streams, Dylan? I mean, we already know why Terry is more or less not going to, but what's up with you? Well, that's when you eat. It's when you're hungry. There is no rules of what we're supposed to eat at what time. That's just silly myth that you have to have sausage and eggs in the morning or a bowl of cold cereal with milk. That's myth. I tell you what, that's a good time to eat breakfast. I love having breakfast for dinner. I love it. But honestly, I haven't had real dinner for a long time. Since I started doing OMAD, either it has been a late breakfast or kind of a late lunch, but I haven't actually had dinner now since about February. You still in here, Dave? Dylan? Except, of course, when I kind of eat my one meal. I don't really consider that a supper, though. Hello, Yellow. What's your reasoning behind deciding not to do any streams for a while, Dylan? Oh, okay. Gotcha. Yeah. Yep, Mellow Yellow. I think that was actually a lemon and grapefruit. I think. I'm not positive. Definitely wasn't your typical lemon lime. Anyway, I had looked up paranormal legends, and I haven't really. I was reading about the riches, but I don't know. It's not very interesting. But no, I do have some scary stories that aren't of my own. Some very, very fascinating stories that actually came from my late in-laws, from my ex-husband. Oh, okay. Well, you know I'm going to be there, and I'm about as fast as I can be. But I definitely know why that you're kind of holding off. I definitely understand that, Terry. Well, you have to remember, Terry, Dylan's time is Pacific, so it's very much possible that you would be able to catch his stream. Yeah, that's the really good thing. So, like, if he runs his about noon, you and I catch him at 2. So, and that works out really good for me because I do shopping on Saturday mornings. So that gives me plenty of time to get my grocery shop done, and then I get to catch him around 2. Yeah, he's got good lives. Dylan's such a good young man. I love you, Dylan, to pieces. You're such a sweetheart, buddy. I'm so grateful for you. So let me share with you some of the really cool things that was told to me and went on with my in-laws. My ex-husband told me about some things that he had experienced at his mom's house when he was a younger man. And one of those was they used to have a wooden barrel, and it was empty, but at night it always sounded like apples was dropping in it. And that was just one thing that he had experienced. And then, like, they used to have an old piano. My mother-in-law could play guitar and the piano, and everybody be in bed and that piano would play. And used to, in the really older days, when somebody died, they would take the front door down to lay the body on and prepare it for burial. So this one particular died, and they took the front door down, laid him on it to prepare him. Okay, Dylan, to prepare him for burial. And then after the person was buried, they put the door back up. And after that, that door would open and close by itself, as if after the preparing of the body, it had haunted the door. But the most horrifying thing of all was there was this doll. Hubby said it was a really strange looking doll. And even my mother-in-law shared it with me, told me about this doll. We was all sitting in the living room one day, and they were sharing about it, talking about this doll. Uh-huh. And so the first person who had owned the doll started getting sick. And after a while, they decided it might have been the doll. So they passed the doll on to somebody else in the family. And they started getting sick. And then I think it was actually my mother-in-law who finally got hold of the doll. And they started getting sick. So they decided to burn this doll. Now, this doll, my husband said, it must have been a voodoo doll or something, because it kind of looked like it was like a black voodoo type doll. And so they took it out to burn it. And as it was burning, its eyes rolled up into its head. But after they burned it, nobody was sick anymore. So that took care of that. Yeah, I never did get to see that doll. I don't even know when that happened, but my mother-in-law herself said it. And then, like, her mother had experienced a whole lot of things when she was a young woman. Yeah, you better stick to your orphan nanny. I think she's safer. um, my mother-in-law's mom had shared of many stories, but there was one that she had shared that her husband, uh, my husband's grandpa, was one day they was like out in the cemetery or something like that. It's a cemetery now. I don't know if it was a cemetery at the time, but it's a cemetery now. And I'm just going to call it Orphan Annie. I don't want to say Chuckette. Well, anyway, when they was up in that area, there was a sound of many horses coming down off of the hill. And when they looked, there weren't any horses. But it happened that, like, something must have happened back during the Civil War up in that, what we call a holler, which is basically just a one-lane road that goes up between mountains. And so there must have been troops back in there or something, because not only did my husband's grandpa had this kind of experience, but it happened that my own daughter had some experience. Both of my girls. One of them, my youngest daughter, which is my middle child, came into the house one day saying that she saw what looked like a black girl, and her clothes were tattered, and she was carrying a basket on her head, and her back looked like it had fresh stripes on it, like she had just been ripped, like a slave. Yeah, seriously. Now, all this was in Kentucky where all this took place. And so I think my daughter said it kind of made her cry because this young girl turned and looked at her and then walked on and faded. Yeah. And then there was another time she said that her and her cousin was kind of playing, and she said that they both heard a bunch of horses coming down off the hillside, and she looked and didn't see anything, but plain as day, they heard the horses. And I'm kind of wondering if it was the same horses that my husband's grandpa had heard many, 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 many years ago. Yeah, she was. I believe that very much. And then there was another time, like my dog, and this is something that I didn't share on my paranormal experiences. Yeah, it definitely could have been. Definitely. That's what I kind of thought when my daughter shared it with me, that it must have been her great grandpa's same experience. But one day, my dog, not Bouncy, but a dog that belongs to my ex husband, it started really acting strange. Now, I'd already seen paranormal stuff going around in that house, but didn't think anything of it because it never startled me. But this one particular night, she started looking in the hallway and started cowering in the corner. And she was growling and whimpering at the same time. She wouldn't come out. And we was all sitting down in the living room. Nobody was in the hallway. There wasn't any reason for her to be upset. But she refused to come out of that corner until she was finally sure that maybe it was clear. And then when she thought it was, she still very carefully ran out to check and make sure. That dog was never the kind of dog to really be afraid. No, they don't. Hi, Carol. Oh, oh, wow. Well, Terry, if you and I ever be able to do that, we can go up to the Panhandle and see what Carol's talking about. Carol lives up in the Panhandle of Texas. Man, that would be something for us to check out. Yeah, buddy. The Palo Duro Canyon. I wonder if that's the one that hubby went to, because hubby went to a canyon. Absolutely. We all still have to sit on that bench and talk, don't we, girl? Carol said the three of us just needs to go to a bench and sit and just enjoy the breeze. About that canyon, hubby had mentioned about when he was younger that they had gone to a canyon, and I'm wondering if it's that same canyon. Do you know how to ride a horse? I don't know how to ride a horse. I know how to sit in the saddle, but I don't know how to control them. I am going to make a list for chili. Tomorrow I go shopping. I'm going to make a pot of chili. Yummy, 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 yummy. Oh, you don't have to worry about those. I'm waiting for Carol to answer. Oh, that would be nice. That would be so, so nice. I know. Man, that would be cool. And if we were really travelers, because there's so many places here in Texas to explore. We all kind of live in our own little boxes. That kind of makes it a squisher. But I tell you, there are so many places I want to explore. So many. I am an adventurous explorer. I love checking out these different places. I want out of mine too. You went out of your box, Carol. We need to get out of our boxes. Has a tendency to get a little smothering in here sometimes and go pounding the wall. Anybody out there? What's really cool is, like, we've got the unction. We absolutely got the gun hoe, but we don't have the get up and go. Oh, cool. That was very good of her. That was so very good of her. Neato. That'll definitely give you some material to work with for sure. Okay, Terry. Yeah, well, me and Terry, we've got the vehicle, but we're kind of fixed on the money and the willpower to get beyond our little boundary. All right, Terry. You have a good night. Yep, we got the vehicle, but we've got our boundaries. Man, I have got to get out of my, out of my comfort zone and go pick up two beautiful ladies and just go do some rambling in Texas. That's what I need to do. All right, got your name down, Grandma? Um, okay, what is that, Dave? What's your question? Yeah, that much Carol knows, but Carol doesn't know the full story, Dylan. And what's your question, Dave? We found each other through YouTube. That's all. Basically, like, we found each other on my chat through others, and Um, we kind of shared what states we lived in, and that's how we got to find one another, just through other people. That's how YouTube works. You end up meeting all kinds of cool people, just like I met you through Dylan. No, in all reality, in all reality, we've only known each other for a few weeks, Dave. But what actually brings us close together is God. And when you've got Jesus in your life, you feel like you know the person forever. But that's a very good question, Dave. Thanks for asking it. You have a good night. Sleep very well. So yeah, we don't have joy anymore. And it's sad, but I do hope that she's okay. I hope that Joy's just fine and that she's not having any more worries. I'm going to look up haunted bridges. I like, I love the story of haunted bridges, especially covered bridges. Those are cool. Yeah, I just like to believe that she's doing better now and that she's just not worried anymore. That's what I want to know, that she's just not having to worry anymore. The last thing that I want is for people to continue having trouble. So hopefully now there's nothing else to worry about now. Well, I asked for haunted bridges. Yeah. Yep, we do. We want her to be okay. And everybody else who was ever involved. She did, that's true. But you know, Carol, not just for Joy, but for everyone else who had ever been hurt, either her and her group or the other person who was hurt and her group, everybody who had been involved. I hope that everybody's okay now, but they can just go on ahead and go on, and that everything's okay now with everybody, with everyone. I know it's not worth having controversy and anger and hurt. It's not worth that. So I just hope that everybody is a-okay now. Everybody. Everyone who was involved. Well, this is not telling me what I want to know at all. I asked for haunted bridges and it just shows me haunted places. I want to know bridges. I'll go back to this and see if I can find any bridges. I really enjoy watching the History Channel when they show haunted places. Let's see if there's any haunted bridges in this, because it pulled this up. But so far it's not. It showed hotels and prisons. I think I'm going too fast for it. It's not hard like bringing up anything here. What was that? Okay, guys, a medical place. That was where I was last at. Crescent Hotel. The Pine Barrens. Ridge is interesting. The Pine Barrens is interesting. And there's a walking path. That'd be cool. Amityville Horror House. Ah, that's what Julian wanted to hear about. Driscoll Hotel. Oh, and Austin, Texas. The Driscoll Hotel in Austin, Texas. Ooh. I'm not that far from Austin. Shanghai Tunnels. Cemetery. Masonic Temple. Castle and Inns. Fort Delaware. I'm going to have to do deeper research. I'm just going to have to do deeper research. Okay. Yeah, I think Julian found out that his Wi-Fi was acting up, but he had to go. He switched to his 4G and it started acting good. So I'm hoping that my computer's not acting up, that it's just everybody else having trouble. Which I don't want nobody to have trouble with their Wi-Fi, but I just hate the thought that this old laptop is struggling tonight. Actually, I need to get stuff to make my stroganoff. I love my stroganoff. Where's Savannah tonight? Hmm. Boy, it's always such a pain in the bottom to have a live stream. Hopefully tomorrow you'll be able to stream no problem. Won't give you no trouble. Most generally, it seems to do pretty good for you as long as you're right there at your window. Oh, is Mom making a video? How's her lupus? And just what is it about lupus, Dylan? My ex-husband's cousin had lupus. Just what is it about lupus? What is lupus? Okay, Carol. Oh, cool. Is this going to be uploaded on Savannah's channel or is she going to put it up on yours? Oh, so that kind of causes a person to easily get sick, doesn't it? Hmm. That might have actually been what killed the cousin. Oh, wow. That's rough. Yeah, it almost sounds like a type of leukemia, doesn't it? Almost. Okay. Hmm. Anyway, I'm going to have to definitely dig a little bit deeper and see. Well, I'm glad that wasn't too long. I was preparing to fill in the gap. But anyway, yeah, I'm going to see what I can find, at least an interesting story about one thing instead of just little clips of this and that. I like really digging so that I know more detail. And what's your mom's channel? Yeah, I will make sure to check that out. Your mom is so cool. I got tickled when I heard her say that she prefers men's colognes out of women's. And I thought, man, it's kind of like me. I'll wear women's colognes, but I really like the scent of the men's colognes better. And I thought, if she's not afraid to wear men's cologne, maybe I should. I just haven't done it yet, but I love the woodsy cedar type smells that is given to men's colognes. I love the cedar, woods, pines. I love the scents. Yeah, I know. They can smell obnoxious in the bottle, but then you put it on the skin and it kind of like, oh, this isn't so bad after all. Or it can like smell really good in the bottle and then you put it on the skin and you go, oh man, I'm not wearing this again. I know there is some really good smelling colognes that my husband wears, and I want to wear it so bad. But I've got some really good smelling colognes myself, so bet you give them to your mom, don't you? Cheek word. Hmm. Not positive where a Bath and Body is around here off the bat, but I bet there's one close enough. Oh, okay. That's the best place. Right there in the store. Ain't no need to waste the money on it. I love it when they've got test bottles. I'm gonna have to find a body and bath and see if I can find that. I'd say it does smell good. I have got an idea for a video that I am wanting to do very soon, maybe even possibly tomorrow. Maybe. I know I need to go do it because this has got some really cool finds and I want to get it before the person sells it. Huh, I've never heard of Hugo Boss. might see if I can do that before I go shopping tomorrow. Hope the guy is open tomorrow. I'm not going to say what it is because it's going to be a surprise to everybody. And I hope that it gets a lot of views. I seriously hope it gets a lot of views. I'm definitely going to check out your mom's channel. Now, does your dad just have a YouTube account as a viewer, or does he have a channel? Oh, okay. Sorry about the empty air for anybody who watches this on playback. I am rating because currently it is just Dylan. Okay. And now his is Tim's Home Improvement. I want to make sure that I remember that correctly. Wow. Tim's Home Improvement. All right. I'll just get the entire family. Well, Savannah might as well go on ahead and upload too, since everybody else does. Man, if we could just get views like that, huh? 26K, that's pretty good for Dad. And just keep it all in the family, and whoever starts earning the money can give their secret and boost everybody else in the family. Looks like Dad might get it. I bet she'd be awesome. I'd say she'd do awesome. There ain't nothing wrong with that. Quite frankly, though, that I'm proud of your dad. 26K. My planks for 30 days is probably now just 5K, which is my largest viewed video. And it is such a major disappointment because, like, I think when people clicks on that, they're looking to see a transformation. And my before picture, I've got the large belly, and my after picture, I've got the large belly. No transformation. A minute of disappointment. Well, he's going to soon get 143, or however he's at. Matter of fact, since I've got those two written down, I'm going to give a shout out for them. Even though they didn't show up in the chat, I'm going to do a shout out for them, leave a link for them, and help them. Yeah. Very huge. It's almost like I'm not even the same person in those older videos. Yeah, no problem. If I'd known that they had their own personal video channels, I would have put them out there a long time ago. But you know, buddy, sometimes I look back at my older videos and I see that woman standing there with that large body, and I'm like, there ain't no way I was that big. There is no way I was that big. But yet there it is. And it's sickening. I don't want to ever be there again. Yep, boy, I already wrote that down too. Of course, I gotta get bread, soda, and Powerade. That's a weekly staple. I was. There was one video particular that I had done, and my son was watching it, and like the video I had started out talking a little bit, then I showed some exercise, and then what I ate, and then I don't know, I put all kinds of little segments into it. And my son said, you're like everybody else, you just won't shut up. And then he went, whoa, wait a minute. Because I had snapped my fingers, and then I had showed a picture of when I was 220. He said, Mom, you didn't have a neck. They were. There were. Yeah, he said, you had no neck, Mom. You got a neck now. And I didn't even think about that, but looking back at those older videos, I thought, you didn't have a neck. I mean, seriously, I look. But yeah, my when I was doing the food reviews or the food segments the first time, I was doing the Ray Down, and that was just basically eating when hungry, stopping when full. So what I had started out doing was just completely cutting out snacks, but I was still hungry 3 times a day. And then my body got used to that, and it went down to only being hungry twice a day. And then as I continued cutting the portions down because I was hungry less and less, getting full faster, eventually I found myself just eating once a day. So it went from cutting out snacks to my body casually going down on its own. And there's a big difference back then and now. Giant difference. I marvel at it sometimes. Sometimes I'll go back and I'll watch them again myself and I'll go, that is so crazy what you done. Even some of the things that I was reviewing as Big Mouth. No wonder I was a big person. I didn't have a weight problem when I didn't start gaining weight until uh, my daughter was around just around 5, 6 months old, my first daughter. Then I started gaining the weight. Well, what's really odd, like, I think if I would be able to control how many chips I eat, it would be different. But I have no control over chips. And I have drunk sodas, ate candies, ate chips, which I've pretty well knocked out chips altogether. And candy is very seldom now. But I've even had ice cream and still losing this weight. So it's got a lot to do of how often and how much. For me, it's not feeling full. It's just the flavor is so good I can't stop. Kind of like that saying from Lay's. Once you start, you just can't stop. And that's how it is for me. I love the flavor of chips enough that I can't stop eating them. When it came to chips, I definitely was eating for pleasure and not to get full. So, but I'm just the same as just cut chips out. I have had, in the complete year that I have been on this weight loss journey, I have only had chips at the most 3 times, at the most. And it's for all the better. Candy, I've still had more than I can count on my fingers. So, but I'm wanting to really cut the candy out too because I really don't need candy. I bought some candy today at the dollar store and it wasn't as good. So basically, I wasted the money on it. But the good thing is that it was only $2, a dollar a piece. So I tossed the rest into the trash because I got thinking, well, I'll at least save the rest for tomorrow. And then I thought, wait a minute, no, because honestly, just was it really tasting right? My body seriously just does not want that kind of stuff anymore. Yogurt, that's what it is. It's Greek yogurt from the Greek gods. It's honey and vanilla. Normally, I don't like Greek yogurt. I cannot stand Greek yogurt, but the Greek gods is actually good. It tastes like regular yogurt. It doesn't taste like Greek yogurt. It's good stuff. Plus, it's got live cultures in it, live um, probiotics in it. So I like that. Yeah, I guess I need to just label everything that I've got. I'm sure everybody definitely knows that I've got a spring mix in the other bowl, though. I start having other food, then I'll be able to start showing what I'm eating again. I'm sure people got tired of seeing a baked potato, broccoli, and curry nuggets. Frozen yogurt tastes so different from regular yogurt. There is a giant difference in the yogurt. We've got a yogurt place here, and you might as well be eating ice cream. I like yogurt as long as it doesn't have real fruit in it. I I've got a problem about eating chunky things. Mom doesn't like the texture of yogurt. I don't have a problem with it. I really don't. But like it's like if I have spaghetti, it can't have chunks of tomato in it. I can't stand chunks of tomato. I do not like tomatoes. Can't stand them. And yogurts, it can't have hunks of strawberry or hunks of blueberries. But I'm okay if there's a little bit of peach. I'm, I've never had a problem with texture, so to speak. It's just certain lumps of stuff, just certain lumps of things. To my knowledge, I don't have a problem with any. Well, no, I take that back. I take that back. One thing that I don't like when it comes to the shell fish, like clam stuff, I love clam, but I don't like mussel or oyster because, like, you've got your thick muscle tissue and then the softer tissue, and it's the softer tissue that, like, okay, it's ruined. So I do not like oysters or mussels because once you get through the harder meat of the fish and you get to the softer tissue and it's like no, no. But I absolutely love clam. I love clam. And like for mussel and oyster, they're both a dark meat, but clam is a white meat. Clam is soft, but it's still firm enough, it doesn't have like a loose fatty type tissue to it. It's firm. The best way to describe like how the mussel and the clam is like a chicken liver that you get in a bowl. You've got the harder tissue and then and then like you've got the softer tissue, and that's how mussel and clam is. But the clam, no, clam isn't liquidy. Clam is actually it's got a much firmer texture and the taste is better too. The taste is a lot better with clam. Oyster and mussel, it almost, not exactly, but almost has a liver taste to it. Almost. But clam doesn't. It might have been oyster. Might have been oyster. You might have saw the looser tissue of the oyster, or it might have been mussel and you saw the looser tissue of the mussel. But no, clam doesn't. Was it dark or like chicken color? Because clam kind of has a chicken color, about the color of chicken. Clam is, and then oyster, chicken color. Hmm. Well, then it's possible that you saw clam. But if that's the case, it might have just been in the juices. But clam definitely is a far cry from tasting or feeling like livers. Best I can tell you is just give it a shot. But only ask for clam or make sure that it reads clam. It's my preference, definitely. Hmm. Well, they do have a clam eating contest. See how many can eat the most clams in so much time. I know that. But clam shells doesn't have that much space. They're not all that big. Clam shells isn't all that big. Or at least the ones that I get at the buffet aren't. I might get me a can of clam. I really like clam. Do you like fish in general? I like almost every kind of seafood. Almost. I haven't tried all of it, but I like a lot of different kind of fish. I like pollock. I like flounder. I love flounder. Um, oh, what is that one? I like cod. That's what I was trying to think of. Cod. And I love shrimp. I love clam. Hmm. Now, personally, I don't think it tastes like chicken, but I love shrimp. I don't care if it's fried, breaded, or just cooked in its own juices and thrown in a salad. I just really do. And I tried octopus. I tried octopus at first, and it was just a baby octopus. So I tried one of the tentacles, and it was kind of rubbery feeling, but the flavor wasn't bad. But I couldn't get past the head because they didn't serve the tentacles, they served the entire octopus. And of course, like it was gutted out, so it was a hollow. But nonetheless, I couldn't get past that. So maybe if I would just be served tentacles without the head, I'd be okay. But not seeing the head too, that just it didn't work. And maybe people should stop watching that stuff. We'll never get to try it just because. I'm kind of wondering if I would like shark. Some places actually fix shark. I don't know if I would or not, but I kind of wonder. Seeing that I do like a lot of seafood. Wow. Well, girl, you've only got a few kibbles left. You've only got a few kibbles left. Yeah. Yeah. You're my pretty girl. Yes, you are. I love my Catherine. Oh, uh, I'll certainly stay away from that. I don't watch people eat their food if they do it as an ASMR or if they do a mukbang. I will not watch people eat. I won't. Okay, I'll watch just one. You send only one. I'm going to go on ahead and get off here, Dylan. Thanks so much for sticking in there. But we've ended up having a pretty good conversation, so that's pretty good. Pretty awesome. Anyway, it should work out that I catch your stream tomorrow if you run it, and so I'll see you tomorrow, buddy. You have a great night, brother. I love you, kid.